Okay, you ready? Let's go. Yeah. So in this next minute, I will just introduce you to what I'm going to talk. And I'm a software engineer at CI&T, and I'm currently working with Java. And I have a secret to share with you guys. Maybe like 5 secrets, and they are what they didn't tell me about Java. So, to start, what have you heard about Java? Please let me know here. Did you hear about the coffee beans type, or just about the books? Maybe the crazy coding, like the crazy coding style, the glasses, and the guys that programming the in the dark? What have you heard about Java? When I first heard about Java, they told me it was not for women, and also it was a perfect type of coffee beans. I'm here with my coffee, and this is not a Java one. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, the first time I heard about Java was like, what kind of thing is that? Also, the Java chocolate, yes. And I love coffee too. So that's where I'm start. I will start here. When I first heard and I first met Java, I had never heard about it before. It was around 2011, so you guys do the counting. And I had no knowledge of any kind of programming. And this picture here, it might look like a Google picture, but it's me in college, studying Java with pencils and writing down without a coding and a PC. So the first time I met Java was to program by writing. I needed to write it down, all the commands and all the lines and everything. And I had no knowledge of any kind of programming language, so it was pretty crazy. But now I have learned a little bit about other programming languages, and I also can teach programming to others, not just Java. So that is like quite a time between 2011, and that's why I'm going to start sharing with you what kind of tips that I learned. So let's get started. We'll be quick, I promise, and I hope you guys like it. Get used to Aura. What is that? What Java means with that? Java is to write once, run anywhere. Have you heard about this with Oracle, with Sun? Can you guys remember Sun? Java is from Sun, right? It doesn't exist anymore, but it is. So the main definition is write once, run anywhere. Java is a class-based language, which means classes of objects that are followed by states, behaviors, and identity. Also is a programming language object-oriented, and that means we have data as attributes, like data of names and big groups of data. And object-oriented means also procedures as methods. So we will have like a big class of human, and inside of that we will have talking as an attribute, walking as an attribute. And also Java is a general purpose language that is a large variety of application domains. So today we can have Java literally anywhere. And you guys can see it's beautiful. I could not lose Agnes here. So say that about Java. I brought here Java in the past 5 years. Maybe a few people here will remember. We had the Enterprise Edition to standardize everything from dependencies, injections to info access. So was like the modern Java after the Java 5. After that, we found out that Java was not that easy to configure or to use. So we had create the Spring framework to make it easier to use the Enterprise Edition, also to make it easier to configure it and be more enjoyable to program, to code. And then we decided to compete with C#, with Node.js and PHP, and also to dominate the Android market. So we have Java 7 and Java 8 as the principal competition with C#. And then we had a problem with Java because of its performance and security, and we need to update that. So here comes Java 11. If you're not using yet, please start to use. We have more improvements in performance, security, library improvements, and few deprecations that we needed to remove from Java. So say that about Java evolution, which is like really quick for the technology package that we have. What I didn't know about Java when I first started, that's when I was like, okay, I wish I could know this back there in 2011. Maybe you guys will have something to share too. So let's go. The first one, searching for the data structure will not always help. What does that mean? It means that when you're programming, when you're coding something and you have a problem, you have a question about it, if you go to the Google and ask exactly for the list, for the array, for the structure that you're using, it will not give you the right answer. You go through all the structure for any type of languages. It will go through all the meaning of variables or maybe all the meaning of the lists. So when you have a problem between the coding and between the solution that we're implementing, please use the search as your friend. You should search for the compiling error or maybe the explosion error that will happen with your code. So maybe if I didn't make me clear, please let me know. But if you search for the compiling error, you find Stack Overflow, you find other devs with the same problems, and then we will start to understand how to use the data structure and how to operate this. That's why I wish I could know that before I start to code. So when I'm starting something new and I have a problem now, I'm not going to search for the data structure that I'm using. I'm going to search for the error that I'm getting. So after that, I will go through the documentation and then start to learn more about the data structure. When I do that, I can find other suggestions to use better data structure or maybe to use a different type of coding. So that's why this is the main tip that I have today to share with you guys. So the next one, not all code is a model view controller kind of thing. The model view controller is the first thing that you learn when you learn Java, like to implement the screen, the fields that you have to use, the controller that will keep this working together. But when you go to the market and when you start to develop solutions for clients, you cannot keep using just model view controller. You need to understand what kind of pattern you want to get, what kind of architecture you want to use, because this will be a code for all the other devs. This will be a code for all the following years. So we have to use something to be easier to maintain. You have to understand how the design patterns will help you in security and also in performance, which is a really big problem with Java. So this first thing, when I started as a trainee working as a developer, they did not tell me that. And I started to try to implement everything as a model view controller. And it was a mistake. So after I learned that, I started to understand that I need to learn more design patterns. I need to understand how the architecture of the code can help me to get a better result. And about that, we have now more stuff about like clean code and clean architecture and rule design patterns. Those are kind of the main names that I know right now and that we are using, and also thinking about the future for Java. So if you don't know any of the terms, search about them, understand about the design patterns before you start to implement some Java solution. Okay, for the third one, almost every Java installation can be a challenge. And no one say that. When you say for someone like, okay, you just need to use Java, and you have no idea how to keep this working or how to get this working in your computer, this will be a challenge. You can be like a software engineer with years of experience. Sometimes the computer can be challenging. You can have infrastructure problems. You can have wrong patches download. You can have wrong path configurations. So almost every Java installation can be challenging. It can also be an external problem. Like when you have to configure more than one version of Java will be a challenge. And just accept that you have to search every time. You don't need to keep your memory on that. Every time you have a problem with Java installation, you just go there and search about the problem and just fix it, and do not suffer with that. Will always be a challenge. I was always beating me up about that because every time I change my machine or I change the team, I change the project, I need to update something in Java, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So just accept the fact that we will need to search, maybe fix it, and do it all again. Java is like this. It's a challenging programming language, even though you already knew. So the fourth one, it might be the main language you learn, as myself, but it might not be the best in the world. What does that mean? It means that when you have a challenge that you need to use Python or you need to use C# or even some kind of JavaScript, you just go and learn again and maybe adapt it, because Java will not save all the problems that you have. So we have here a lot of developers here watching me, and they know that we have a lot of haters of Java. But if it is the main language you learn, use this as your most important point, because if you know Java, you can learn every language. So stop hating, yes, and learn to adapt and learn to adapt and learn about other languages too. So, okay, I'm a Java developer, and we have a project that we have to use something faster, or maybe something specific to use with data science, sorry. And Java will not be the best. So you get all the structure that you have, all the knowledge that we have on this, and we put the effort in other language. Will be nice and smooth, and will work too. So that's the thing that I needed to share. Java will not be like the best, but not for everything. You just keep going and keep adapting. The fifth one, you won't learn Java with just a book or just 21 days routine. Today we have a lot of people learning Java, and we have this as a good thing, but Java is a language that we keep studying. We keep evolving. You keep going through all the challenging, and you won't learn Java with just like a year or maybe this 21 days routine that they are selling around the market too. So we just need to accept the fact that you'll be always studying Java, always learning about new features, always learn about how to use in the better way for specific kind of problems, specific libraries to fix the challenge that you have. And you have like 5 books, maybe more than 10 books to get little pieces of Java and put it together for your developer routine. So you won't learn Java in the first 6 months. When I started in 2011, I had maybe 3 classes of it, and it wasn't enough. It was just the start. And the start point was to understand how it works as the words, the specific words, to write it down, and the structure. And then I started to work with the solutions, like to plan how the logic would be, how this could be faster, and how to really play with Java. So be patient, accept the fact that we keep studying and keep getting feedback about your peers. And I think for Java, that's it. But at last, but not least, you don't have to like coffee to like Java. But liking coffee can bring you many benefits with Java lovers. I have a lot of Java lovers here, I know. Also, a lot of coffee lovers. So when someone say that you need to like coffee to be a Java developer, you don't get that as a true. It's not a rule. We will help you for sure, but it's not a rule. So to finish this talk, which is really fast, and I put this GIF here to ask, why don't you like me? Do you still don't like Java? Java will continue to lead as one of the most important base programming languages. We will have a lot of programs and problems to solve with Java. We will not die. So why don't you like me? Also, progressive web apps in Java are part of the future. We are having this write once and run anywhere in these progressive web apps with Java, like really strong right now. If you don't know what it is, these progressive web apps, they are like, we don't need to install it to run. So Java helps with this a lot. We just write and run anywhere, which is really nice. Also, it will keep growing, becoming more robust. So here we go, Java 17. I think the end of this year we will have already Java 17. Maybe next year we will be updating for this more growing and becoming this more simple language, I hope. And that's the future for Java. If you guys have any comments, tips, suggestions, questions, let's talk. That's the time I separated for us to talk about it. And I can see here Java for the win. Yes. If you have any books that you want to recommend for the people that are starting, please let me know. Angelo, I love coffee, so I love Java. Me too, but not everyone. Thanks for the message.